What's up, guys? So today is going to be like a part two or continuance from the previous support and resistance video that I made. So this is going to be a great visualization, especially if you're a new trader, on the way that support and resistance works. So let's get to it. All right, guys, before we get started, I just want to remind you to hit the like button, leave a comment, also subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications so you'll be notified whenever we put out new videos every week on different just psychology, technical analysis, things for trading. I release, new videos throughout the week all the time. I want to make content that's, that'll help you out with your training. So leave me some feedback. I appreciate the feedback. And welcome to all the new subscribers that I've received since I, released the video of the video where I made 104,000 over a couple days on TSLA. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the love, all the comments, all the DMs I've received. I appreciate you guys, and I want to help you guys win as well. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at some charts here, and this is actually Netflix right here. So the point that I want to make in all this is the way that you visualize support and resistance. So I know, there's a lot of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of gurus out there, that, simply say draw support and resistance, where, it touches more than once. But I want to give a different visualization. And I hope this helps you understand why we use support and resistance a lot in trading. So in this instance, right, we're looking at Netflix. So this is and I hand drew all these lines. So I hand drew all these support and resistance lines. You can see why this line here at 364.12, you can see why I put this line here. You can see that this hit 1, 2, 3, 4 times here. And anytime it came around in this area, yeah, there's little spikes, lower, but anytime it came down to around this level, it bounced back up and it held this level, right? So the way that I want you to picture this is that whenever you get support, right, those are buyers waiting for the price action to get down to that level to buy the ticker or buy that instrument at a discount. So they're waiting for it to go ahead and come back down so that they're buying it at a bargain. They're not buying it on a breakout or buying it when it's more expensive. So the same thing whenever you're looking at resistance. So if you're looking at like this line right here at the 371.40 or so, this is where there's sellers waiting for that profit target to go ahead and for the price action to get there to get the best profit that they can at that level. So they know that more than likely there's going to be someone to go ahead and to be able to sell to whenever the price action gets to that level when the bids bring it up to that high. So if you look here, this is the same thing. It happened whenever it came up to this level at 371.34, 40 or so. It came up to it, kissed it, and pushed away. Came up, kissed it, pushed away, right? In this instance, it did actually break it a little bit here, and it came back and it used this other one as support, and then it moved away and it moved to the next one. So that's the other thing, is that old resistance turns into new support, and old support turns into new resistance as well. So I understand you're drawing all these probably hand drawn, and I want to give you a better visualization of the way that the way to be able to see this. So this is Bookmap here, guys. This is a program called Bookmap. You could actually purchase this. It's a very nice software. It's a little pricey, if I may say so myself. I believe it's about $175 a month. And the way that it works is that this side right here, so this is the price right here, right? So you have the price action, and then these are the orders that are being filled, these little circles or beach balls right here. So these are the orders that are being filled. The red is selling, the green is buying, and you could tell where there's more buying than selling in this. And you could tell that which way the direction of the price action is moving. Now, when you're looking at this, you're usually looking at this live, right? So all I have is a screenshot. So it's almost like a tape where it's moving from right to left. So I know I might be backwards there where I'm, on camera, I'm going from left to right, but it goes from right to left, and then and then it just you can see the orders sitting there before they even get to that level. So you can see that so right here in this instance, we're looking at this where there's a bunch of orders, kind of just scrambled around here, where the price action just was a little volatile, moved up and down between you know, these $2, $3, and then there's some sellers that stepped in here, and you could see that there's about 2,500 shares where it pushed the price action down. So there wasn't enough buying in order for it to break this selling right here for the price to continue up. So what did it do? It moved away from it and went further down to find some buyers to help push the price action back up. So it went down. There was more selling than buying here in this level, where there you could see um, where these orders were sitting here. These buy. So this is buying sitting here, and there is more selling, right? So then whenever you're looking at Bookmap, these are called heat maps, right? So the darker the color, where you could get, very dark red. Sometimes you just have the light bluish, and then you could have like a yellow. But the darker it gets in the dark red, it's gonna show that the bigger the orders are. So right here, there's quite a bit of this is a big support area in this area, and so when the price action came down to here, you can see that there's lots of selling into these buyers, right? So these buyers are buying, and the price action is selling into these buyers. And then you can see it actually soaked up all these orders of buying, and it continued to go down a little bit further down as well. And so I got some other examples here as well. So just one second. So this would be more like a channel trade, right? So you can see where the little balls are, going back and forth, and you have this support here, and you have resistance here, and you can see where there's more buyers, right? Or excuse me, there's more sellers than there is buyers here in this area, right? And you can see that this is being moved around this whole time. So this price action comes down first, right? So it comes down first. It gets enough buyers here where it bounces up. There wasn't enough selling to break this resistance here. There's only enough to get filled in for it to bounce back up. And then it came back. There's more buyers than sellers at this level. It bought all the sell orders here, and it continued to press on forward because there was more buying than selling orders that were sitting right here at this area at the 2160. The next one. So this next one is when you're looking at where there's the price action might be a little bit more tight, and there's different points of orders that are being put through. So you can see that it's very volatile, kind of moving up and down here. But you can see where these important levels are here, where there's definitely big support here, and there's definitely sellers here in this area. So this is 740, and then this is 727. So we're looking at a pretty big area here, guys, around 15, 20, $25 or so. So when this comes down, all these buying orders that are sitting here, it soaked up the selling, and it bounced back up, and you could see that it came back. It tried to test one more time. Heck no, it bounced, and it kept on. There's so much more buying pressure than there was selling on its move up. It kept on breaking through these resistance as it goes. So that's I want you to imagine here, whenever you're taking a look at your when you're drawing these, I want you to think about that. Where are the sellers going to come in to go ahead and take profit, right? So that's where they're going to take profit, or where someone would start a short position. Where would you as a buyer come and sit in and put some support to join the buying to start a long position, right? Or to cover your short if that's the case. So those are I want you to think critically whenever you're taking these trades, because that is very important. So you can see that when you do this here, you want you to visualize, that big line of buyers that are sitting there that are going to soak up the orders once the price action gets into that level, right? So we'll do a couple more examples here. So this one is, so you can see this one is a very clean chart. So I believe this is Tesla. Yep, it's Tesla right here. A couple days ago. So you could see where it came down. There was definitely not enough selling pressure to break all these buyers here. And so it started moving up. So it started moving up. It started pushing up. And you can see that there's a little bit of resistance right here. This yellow isn't anything. So we soaked it all. The buyers soaked up all the selling that was right here. And right here, there's a lot of sellers just sitting there waiting at the 750, right? So, and that's another thing that we talked about in the last video for the support and resistance, that the whole numbers are very important. So like in this case, we'll use, 700. 700, 725, 750, 775, 800, for instance. So you have the whole numbers, the quarter numbers, and half numbers are very, very important levels to keep in mind. So at the 750, that is a very good, round number, just a psychological number that's, nice to keep track of where there's probably going to be a support and resistance. So, of course, when the price action is moving here to move up, right? At 750, there's going to be some sellers to take profit then at that level. And you could see that it touched it and it just didn't want anything to do with those sellers. There wasn't enough buying at all to, break any of that selling pressure that was sitting right here waiting to be filled. Then if we go in and we look at here on this next one, this is also Tesla. So you can see that this price action came down. It actually filled all this selling that was right here, right? So all this selling, and so it pushed it down further, and you can see this huge support. So this huge support at 750. This is probably after, this is probably taken after that last picture that we were just looking at. And you could see this huge beach ball, all this selling that was being done here into this buying, right? So all the selling that was, all this buying that was taking place right here and the selling to these buyers right here. And you could see it actually ate through all those orders and it bounced away from it. So it actually took that, those people that are sitting there at 750 out, then eventually, about 5 seconds later, there was more support that was put in, there was more orders that were put in there at 750 to continue to move the price action up. And of course, the price action came up here to 753, way more buying pressure than selling pressure right here. So it ate through those orders and it just continued up to 755. And you can see where this buying pressure is eating up this selling that is here, those sellers that are sitting here at 755 just waiting to be filled, right? Next one. This one's pretty cool because this is like a double or triple top, right? So you have this volatile price action that is moving back and forth, and then it moves up, and you can see it just soak all that selling here, and there wasn't enough buying to push above that selling at this level to push above it. So what did it do? It moved away from it, right? It went to find some more buyers, some volatility. You can see this little bit of support here in these areas. And then it pushed up and it tried again. And heck no, there's not enough buying pressure to take out all these sellers that are sitting there waiting to be filled in this area. So these here at the 640 is probably a bunch of short sellers or profit takers at this area sitting there getting filled. And that's why the price action can't move, forward. And then you can see that, it takes a hard nosedive because there's too much selling. And then you can see it starts breaking these supports because there's a lot more selling than there is support there at these areas, and then it bounces and it's probably going to try again here. So last one, this is pretty cool because you could see the different visualizations of like where people probably have different lines on the actual chart for the actual support. So from 628 to 626, there's about a $2 range right there where there's an agreement where there's some support in that area, right? And that's something that I want you to get from this is that if you look at this isn't exactly 630. This is spread out over, a couple cents, right? So if you were to zoom in, it's spread out over this little area, right? And so when you think of support and resistance, it's an area of buyers and sellers. It's not a hard line, right? So it's not exactly 650, 750 that it's going to hit that level. It may get to, 649.73 and then move away from it because there's already sellers sitting at that level once the price action moves up to that level, right? So this gives a good visualization of that where it comes down and it broke through a couple different levels, right? But then eventually there wasn't enough buying here at this, or excuse me, there wasn't enough selling here to break these buyers to continue on down. They had already gotten filled in this area, and there wasn't enough here selling to continue to break the support. So it bounced here and it continued up, and you could see where these orders start getting filled here in this area, and there was enough buying to break this resistance in order for the price action to keep on going up. So again, I want you to be, when you're drawing these lines, these support and resistance lines, you're not just putting a line on a chart. I think that's a very horrible way to think about it. You want to think about where are these buyers going to step in to go ahead and support the price. Where would you, if you're looking to, where would it make the most sense for you to start a long position or to go where shorts would cover their position. So then you're getting a good feel on that. And if you're just taking these trades off of support and resistance, right? So like for instance, on the ones that we were just looking at, this is say like you get it around in this level, this area, right? 627 up to 630. This is $3. I mean, $3 is definitely not anything to snicker at. This is a pretty nice trade if you're just this is your little scalp that you want to make. If you're making this one here, 750 up here to 755, that's $5. $5 where on one contract, that's $500, right? So you add a couple extra contracts, so you're able to afford a decent amount of the actual equity. That's a really good position. That's a pretty decent payday. You do that a couple times within the trading session, and you have yourself a really nice winning day. So it's definitely not anything to slouch about. And this is something that I want to hammer very, very hard at, is that you don't need all these, fancy indicators like you have, like I have here, and I use these for confirmation. These are nice, to have as confirmation. And I have CCI, TTM, MACD, fibs, and you name it, Lucas lines, and everything that you could think of, right? And it does help. It does help, for extra confirmation, but you have to be 100% confident in using support and resistance and mastering support and resistance before you could go move forward. It's just like, with anything, you got to walk before you, you got to crawl before you can walk, and you got to master the fundamentals. You got to master this basics of support and resistance before you can move forward. And I want to give this a visualization of using the Bookmap, just like we did today, so that we could so that you could see what it looks like, and what you should visualize whenever you're manually plotting your support and resistance lines the way that we're talking. So pretty nice video, guys. I know not too many people get to see Bookmap. It's definitely relatively new. It's expensive, I know, and I want to put it out there, for other people to be able to visualize that support and resistance on that tool, the way that it is. So if you have any questions about it, shoot me a DM, shoot me, a comment down below, and let me know, if there's anything else, you have questions about, we could go over it together, and I'm definitely happy, and I'm here to help out. But that's it for this video, guys. Kind of just a quick second part to my previous support and resistance video. Just wanted to go and add the additional visualizations to it. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the video, guys. I definitely appreciate it. And you hit the bell button for notifications to be notified whenever I make other awesome videos just like this one. And you guys take it easy. Make sure you stay money biased.